Hey everybody, welcome to PC Perspective. I'm Ryan Shrout, joined by Alan Malventano. We're going to talk about
more SSDs.
Another SSD. This time it's actually a set of SSDs.
Yeah.
Right?
So
this is the ADATA Premier SP610, as I hold up the empty box. So what we're looking at, we've got all the capacities here, 128, 256, 512,
and
1 terabyte.
Of Silicon Motion.
Okay, so all of these are using the same Silicon Motion controller that we've seen in what drives recently?
SM2246 that we've recently reviewed, the Corsair Force LX.
Okay.
We reviewed a couple of those capacities.
Yep.
And then prior to that was the Angelbird SSD work.
Okay. Yep, I remember those.
We only reviewed one capacity of those, so we're expanding our capacities of this controller that we're checking out.
So these are using the same controller as those two previous SSDs. Is this kind of working then, like we talked about in the last video, when SandForce kind of permeated the entire landscape of SSDs, where performance is essentially the same between them? Is that kind of where we're at?
Yeah, so the 512 gig model is the one model of which we have reviewed all three brands.
Okay.
And it's exactly the same.
Okay, so the Angelbird work, the Corsair LX, Force LX, and now the ADATA SP610 at 512, performance pretty much identical. Yep,
pretty much the same thing.
Okay.
Now there is a decent spread which we saw last time with the Corsair Force LX when you drop down a 256 gig.
From 512 to 256.
Yeah, your write speeds are 450 meg per second max. That's for the half a terabyte and the 1 terabyte. Then when you get down to 256 gig, the write speed is 290.
Okay.
And then when you get down to 128 gig, the write speed is 150.
So I think we talked about that with the previous drives, but we didn't really have the smallest capacity to actually test. Does that pan out? Is that how it shows in our testing?
It's doing the same thing. And that's actually the same thing that tracks with the, not the, what is it, the M5?
M550?
No, the M550 was better.
Right. Yeah, we've got the MX100.
The MX100 at 128 gig is basically the same kind of tracking. So as far as the write speed limits, MX100 is similar to the Silicon Motion.
So when we look at performance then, is it still, I mean, we're still looking at, the 1 terabyte doesn't increase over the 512?
As far as what?
Performance.
Not really.
Okay, so the whatever is
you're
doing the
saturating.
scaling as you go down the line.
You have as many dies as that controller can span
can
out
really
to
address efficiently.
And I mean at that point you're basically you're saturating SATA as far as the reads go.
Okay.
Anyway, the writes, I think it's more of a controller limit because again you're doubling the amount of dies, but the write limit is still 450 meg per second. So for some reason it's holding back a little bit on that write speed. Okay.
So what's unique then about this kind of iteration of this controller? Is it price? Is it packaging? Is it?
Yeah, there's some packaging differences. So this comes with just like that whole round of everything that you're used to seeing in some of the other brands and some of the other models, but we have not seen
with other
recently with other
Silicon Motion
models as far as packaging goes, right? Corsair Force LX didn't really come with anything.
Right, it was bare minimum packaging.
SSD work I think came with some cloning software, and then it was a nicer assembly, sure, but this is decent packaging. It's nice aluminum case, right? Comes with the bracket, all the mounting.
So you can mount the 2.5-inch drive in a 3.5-inch bay.
Yep, all your mounting screws you might need. A 7 millimeter to 9.5 millimeter adapter.
So you add this onto the top of the SSD if you're putting in a laptop or a mobile device.
Only a laptop that has like kind of a bay that, like a little enclosure that slides in or something where it's it holds it in place just by
through
friction. Friction fit.
Okay.
And it comes with cloning software, of which there's labels on the back of those drives with the keys.
Oh, okay.
So you don't have to worry about losing your. It's actually kind of a smart idea, right? You bought your SSD a year ago, and
you don't lose the key because it's on the back.
Yeah, you didn't save your thing, your manual.
Open up your computer and pull the SSD out to write it down, but at least you know where it is. I guess there's that. Okay. What about in terms of pricing? Where do these stand?
All right, so that's actually the biggest difference, because the Corsair Force LX, which we were commenting was even cheaper than Angelbird, right? That range was 70 cents a gig down to 51 cents a gig for half a terabyte.
So the 512 gig was 51 cents per gigabyte. Okay.
On
Where
this
are we at
model,
on this?
128 gig starts at 55 cents a gigabyte, but then it immediately drops to 47, 47, and 46 cents per gigabyte as you go up.
So the 1 terabyte is 46 cents per gig. What's the price on it?
$470.
And is that a like MSRP, or is that what we're actually selling for?
What it's going for right now.
So Amazon. You can buy the 1 terabyte of the ADATA for $470 today. Okay, that's I mean, that's good. That's right.
I mean, it's the best pricing we've seen for that controller.
Yeah.
Right. And I mean, the performance is good. Right. It's not groundbreaking. It's not 850 Pro level performance.
Sure.
You know, a 730 series Intel SSD might, you know, beat it in some areas, that sort of thing. But
any particularly interesting like warranty differences between these? Not
3-year warranty.
Okay, so very similar to what we saw. I think that's the same as the LX.
Yeah.
Maybe the LX had 2, but
I haven't seen anybody give a specific like gig per day rating on.
Yeah.
Like of these 3 brands, for some reason, I haven't seen gig per day ratings on their warranties.
It's still not usually something that we worry about with consumer drives, but unless you're doing really dumb things that we tend to do with drives. So I mean, all things being equal, we would probably recommend the ADATA out of those sets that we have seen recently, but it's really just all based on price.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe the accessories mean something to you if you're going to use those.
Well, I mean, you're getting the accessories. Software. So if you were shopping for the accessories, you would think you might choose this over some of the other ones, but it's also the lowest cost per gig. So just you get all the extra bells and whistles, and it's the cheapest drive right now with that controller.
All right. Yeah. Check out the review at PCPer.com. Obviously, all the benchmarks and all the data there that verifies that all of these drives perform the same with the same controller. But then you can also see how they compare to other drives.
And all the charts are new.
And he's very excited. All the charts are new, so be sure to check those out and let us know in the comments what you think about those. Check it out at PCPer.com. We'll see you next time, guys. Thanks.
Thanks.